In today's video, we are going to study a master level endgame played by Magnus Carlsen. It just happened in game 6 of World Chess Championship match, which is going on. Where in this game, Magnus Carlsen was white and Ian Nepomuceno was black. D4 was played by Magnus Carlsen. Magnus wasn't impressed by his play against the Petrov defense, so he decided to return to D4. Knight F6, Knight F3, D5, G3, E6, Bishop G2, Bishop E7, Castle, Castle, and here the move was played b3. Carlsen has opted for c4 without Carlsen has opted for b3 move over here without the move, first playing the move c4. We would just look at the opening phase quickly and the middle game also, and we will come to the end game phase immediately. But I will give you the idea behind that what was happening in the game in the opening and middle game. So after b3, c5 was played. Black doesn't miss the chance to hit the center actually. So d into c5, bishop into c5 and c4. Now it is played. We really don't often see a position that is being played a couple of times just by move 8. Instead, bishop b2 was a natural continuation over here. And this position has been arised in many of the games where both of the results have been seen on the board. So after c4, now d into c4, and now the move is queen c2. The reason is behind is that you can't take the pawn because your bishop is threatened. So like this, d into c4 and knight c6. This is another continuation. Okay, we continue with our game where after queen c2, queen e7 was played by Ian, and now knight b d2. It is still another game, and here still white is going to think that I'm going to sacrifice another pawn. Ian did not took the pawn; he played the move knight c6. I'm going to let you show the people that what happens, what kind of activity white could achieve if uh, black plays the move c into b3 over here. Because now knight into b3, bishop d6, knight f d2, bringing knight to c4, the most prominent square over here. And after knight c6, now knight c4, and you can see that these pieces of white are very active. And whereas where is black's this light square bishop is doing nothing at all. This rook is struck. This bishop has to move out of the way, not being to be captured. And white has complete dominance on these files. So in that sense, I did not take the pawn over here on b3. Instead, he went for knight c6. So knight into c4, b5 is the great continuation. The reason behind is that what to do this bishop, because if white plays the move like knight over here, and then this knight is being struck, this bishop is completely opened. Then how to develop this bishop? And he made an aggressive move, a best solution, and that was the move b5. Because now knight ce5 and knight b4 first. Black can easily develop the bishop over here like that. But uh, black has a problem over here. Why? Because after knight into knight, bishop into c6, now the point is b4. And this bishop will have to move. Instead, black would have to go for this knight after bishop into f3. Now, whenever you will play this bishop back, your rook is going to fall. Or if you play this bishop d4. Now after bishop into a8 and bishop into a1, bishop comes back over here. This bishop is on this diagonal and it is doing nothing over here. White's rook is coming in just in an instance. Here the preferable position is of white instead of black. So after knight ce5, that's why black developed the knight with tempo first on this queen, and that was knight b4. Now queen b2. Why queen b2? Why not play the move queen b1 over here and then develop our bishop? The problem is that if you play the move queen b1 over here, now bishop b7 and it is coming over here. If you play the move like a4 over here, now this queen is threatened. And here this bishop would be very active. This bishop is very active over here on this diagonal. So that's why in that instance, Magnus did not play the move queen to b1. Instead, he went for queen b2. So bishop b7. Now he has handled the position till now very well, and it is seems to play with black easy. e3 by Magnus, knight c6, knight d3. The decision of bringing the knight over here on d3 is that Magnus keeps the fight by keeping the pieces alive on the board. What happens if knight into knight, then bishop into c6, and now bishop f4. Now see, these bishops of black are very good on these diagonals. This bishop could be countered, but this black bishop has a lot of play on these diagonals. So knight d3 was played. Bishop into b6. Sorry, bishop b6, bishop g5, rook fd8, bishop into f6. And here the natural reply was, instead of here, if for example rook ac1 is just a normal move, is another continuation, and knight d4, sorry, knight d4 looks good for black. It is an equal position. There is nothing going on further in it because after some little bit exchanges, now if queen moves to a2, bishop into g2, king into g2. Now, for example, queen can come from over here after king here, which happened in the game actually. The queen reached over here, and now it is very active position for black. So after bishop into f6, the better way to take the bishop was with the queen, going to exchange the queens. And now, for example, queen bishop, queen into queen, pawn into queen. Now, black king can hold this structure against these minor pawns. So g into f6 was played in the game, and I said, okay, if you want to have an imbalance, no problem, but we both are going to have fun, and both are going to play for just two results, win or draw. So after that, rook ac1 was played by Magnus Carlsen, knight d4. The second choice was e5. First playing the move e5, then knight to d4. But here the problem was that white plays the move knight h4 and this diagonal gets opened, and white is going to exchange this bishop over here. This was a slow move e5, but it was better. After knight d4, now knight into d4, bishop into d4, queen a2, bishop into bishop, King into g2, queen b7 check, king g1, queen e4, centralizing the queen. And how would you would evaluate the position? Black pieces looks very active. On the hand, white's totally, whereas white is completely safe and has better pawn structure. And if white would be able to coordinate his pieces, then they can fight for something more than a draw. At present, it is just equal. So the move was played by Magnus was queen c2, a5 was played by Magnus, rook fd1, king g7. The point was to bring the king immediately over here, that if ever this bishop moves out of the way to somewhere else from this diagonal, then king protects this pawn. The reason behind was that instead f5 looks more natural for black, defending the queen and extending the diagonal for bishop. After king g7, now rook d2 was played. The position is completely dull and empty, as it happens in chess. Engine shows triple zeros and whatsoever are double zeros. But after a 33 minutes of thought by Magnus on his last two moves, like rook fd1 and rook d2, tells us that in fact this position is very complex. These moves may seem slow, but they have poison in. I think the concept was of Magnus was that he's going to bring his rook over here, sorry, queen over here on d1, and then he's going to play the move e3 and getting the knight over on f4, a very juicy. This was the concept. Yeah, I took a decision, and the decision was that okay, I'm going to get your queen for two rooks, and that's what we see on the board. Well, it is a surprise that Ein's decision, whatever, what could we say? Although it is not a bad move, um, even many grandmasters which were analyzing the game also liked it, and some Indians also like it, but it creates a very unbalanced position. I think Ein went for this thought was that these pawns of white are weak, and he thought that he would be able to grab one of them. So after queen into c8, rook into c8, rook into c8, queen d5, going for these pawns, challenging white's queen side pawns. Now b4, a4. Why not pawn into this uh, a into b4 and a into b4? The reason behind is that now these rooks are going to connect over here. This knight is protecting this pawn, and this pawn is protected by this rook. And there is nothing left in this position, but it is I would say that white who would be fighting for something. Sorry. So after a4, sorry, mm, after a4, now e3 was played and bishop e5. Okay, really very sorry, there was some disturbance. Actually, I got a guest. So if bishop b2 is immediately played, which looks easy for black, then rook c5 is the only move for white to keep the balance in the position. And after queen d6, rook into b2, queen into d3, rook bc2, yet another only move, and then queen into a3, rook into b5, queen a1 check, king g2, queen b1. And here, now you see that black is saying that I am going to move these pawns. The only best move is rook c4. a3 looked like an easy draw for black over here. After rook a5, now a2, rook g4 check, king f8, rook e8 check, king e7, rook a7 check, king f8. But this is just a draw. So we come back to our position where bishop e5 was played by Ian Nepomniachtchi. And here Magnus Carlsen played a move h4, and I think in post-game commentary, Magnus said he won this blockbuster mostly because he was more patient in the game. This is one of the moments where we can see that how patient he was and how masterfully he handles extremely complicated positions. White does not rush somewhere; he just slightly improves his position. And the point is that at some instance he can go for this h5 move. h5 was played by Ain Napomnachi. This is again a move which is although approved by the Indians. However, for a human eye, h5 looks a bit weakening because if it is at present over here, it is protected by the king. The king is protecting this pawn and this pawn. But when it is moved h5, then you have to move over here. Then these checks are disturbing. Or you will have to move over here on h6. Then these pawn on f6 would be unprotected. So king h2, as the end game has already been started. So we are going to analyzing these end games. Another slow and prophylactic move. The reason behind is that white is avoiding, Magnus is avoiding any types of checks, whether on back this rank and whether on this diagonal. Bishop b2 was basically a blunder. He did this move, but at the wrong moment. The best move over here first was that queen b3 first. After knight into e5, f into e5, now d7 by white and queen into a3, rook c7. Now king has to move and white could go for draw. It is a very complicated position. Uh, the system may get crazy at some many places. So bishop b2, rook c5, queen d6. If queen d7, then it leads to a bishop trap. The reason is rook cc2, bishop into a3, now rook a2, e5, the last try, and e4. Saying that I'm not going to let you move your pawn over here and threatening this knight. After queen c6, now rook into a3 and bishop has gone because queen into e4, rook a2 and everything of white is protected. Now you may see that how tricky it is. The position is queen d6 was played, and here rook d1 was played by white. It was played immediately. Instead, best continuation was over here, which we Magnus Carlsen missed, and actually he was on just have 1 minute or 1.5 minute, I think, on his clock. Rook c2 was best because after bishop into a3, now knight f4. Where are going to you move your queen? And if queen into b4, now rook d7. And white is going for mating attack. It was out of Magnus' radar. This is what he admitted in the press conference after the game. White creates a powerful attack on black's king. White needs to find a way how to defend from knight into e6 and knight into h5 and rook c7. If the only move is over here is queen b3, the only logical way after rook cc7, now e5, knight into h5 check, king d6 and rook c6. A beautiful move. King into h5, rook into f6. Black king is in a mating net now. because black rook fd7, for example, rook fd7, and there are many ways to mate the black king over here. So we go back to our main move, which was played in the game, and that was rook d1, bishop into a3, rook into b5, and queen d7. It is the only move of by black actually over here in this position. Uh, After that, rook c5. It is the best move because rook into h5 is in fact losing move because now the rook gets trapped. Reason is bishop into b4, knight to knight to b2. Now black wins in different types of ways. For example, queen c6 wins easily. This is this is. If queen into d1, it would be a fun but totally unnecessary line where knight into d1, a3, white rook b5, now a2, rook into b4, a1 queen, rook d4. But it is still holdable. This position is still holdable. So rook c5 was the only logical move in this position, and e5 by black. Here yet Nepomucci did not take the pawn, but he should have taken the pawn because after bishop into b4, now rook cc1, bishop a5, knight f4, queen b5. It looked decent for white black, but I think I rejected this. This is because of rook b1, now queen f5, rook b7. Now white puts serious pressure along the 7th rank, especially in a time trouble situation. It's extremely difficult to assess position correctly. White would be totally fine after e5, knight h3, queen e6, rook a7, and queen b3. But still, it is a draw. So, with the correct play, it is a draw. e5 was played by black. Now, rook c2 was played by Magnus Carlsen. And now, queen d5. Black is still not capturing the b4 pawn. If here, black immediately goes for e4 in this position, for example, knight b2, queen e6, knight c4, bishop into b4, rook a1, queen d6. Looks like what happened in the game with one significant difference. Black's e4 pawn is yet alive. Instead of here, if bishop into b4 immediately, then rook cc1, bishop a3. You must see this move. If you take this pawn over here. Now rook a1, and black queen gets out of x-ray attack, keeps an eye on d1 rook and yet defends a4 pawn. Uh, so rook d2 and bishop f8. The position is still very complicated, and but in this position, black would have some edge, a little bit of edge in this position. So after rook c2, queen d5 was played, and rook dd2. Rook cd2 is an alternative that you double the rook like this. So after rook dd2, now queen b3, rook a2, and e4 was now played. And people were saying that both of the players are playing so much accurate chess, and now you will understand that they are not playing so much accurate chess. Here the best move was bishop into b4, rook bd2, queen into d3, queen into b4, a3, rook a4, f5, rook into a3, queen f1. Seemed to be a drawish as black keeps an eye on continuously on this f1 and white has to protect it continuously. So we continue with our game where the move e5 was played, and sorry, here e4 was played, and that was actually a mistake because now knight c5, queen into b4, knight into e4, and here Magnus actually was on seconds. He had just 30 seconds, and he just went out with the natural move knight into e4. He misses the winning opportunity very beforehand, and the best move in this position was rook c2. The reason behind is that now these two pieces of black are locked, because if this queen moves anywhere, this bishop is going to fall. This queen can't move to b3 because this knight is protecting this square on b3. And here black is completely in Zugzwang. For example, like this f5, knight into a4, queen into a4, now rook c3. And after the bishop is taken, white will regroup the rooks either on the 5th or 7th rank. Afterward, f5 or f7 pawns fall. So knight into e4 was immediate played, and then queen b3, and time control move has been made by Iron 2. What has just happened? We have just witnessed a very big drama. Despite numerous errors from both sides, position has again stabilized. Now another phase in the game is starting, and this is, I would say, a pure end game, where in the end, White Magnus will be playing with rook and knight, and uh, Iron would be playing only with queen over here. So let's rook ac2 prepares knight c5 with the next move. So bishop f8, knight c5, queen b5. Bishop into c5 cannot be played. The reason behind is that rook into c5, a3, rook c1, followed by rook whether to over here or whether to rook a1, and doubling the rook and buying this pawn and taking control of this pawn. So queen b5, now knight d3, a3, knight f4. The time has come to bring the knight over here on f4. Still the position is equal. Queen a5, rook a2, bishop b4, rook d3. Here, white could go for rook d5, but after queen a6, knight into h5 check, king h6, knight f4, queen c4, and now, sorry, now black has some counterplay. Goes after rook a1, queen c3, rook d1, queen c2, knight d3, bishop f8, followed by a2. This may be the another continuation. Still, white is doing okay in this position. After rook d3, king h6 was played. King comes for the defense of this pawn over here on h5. Now rook d1, queen a4. Actually, this game is of 136 moves. So I'm just analyzing the critical points in this position, not going after every move explanation. Rook da1, bishop d6, king g1, king b3, knight e2. The point is to bring the knight over here and here. Now queen d3 was played, knight d4, king h7. In order not to get in any unpleasant faults by this knight f5 check, king h2 was played and queen e4 was played. It was also, I would say, another decision of controversial decision of Fine Nepomniachtchi. It was better to test the patience of Magnus Carlsen over here by playing the move king g6, a waiting move, once again. Because after knight c2, which might look annoying for at first instance for black, but now bishop e5, hitting the rook over here on this diagonal. And after that, knight d4, is the best what white has got. If knight into a3 over here and queen b3, and black picks up two of the pieces of white. So after knight e4, now the move is rook into a3. Now white gets some hopes. Magnus is giving away the pawn and rook for pawn and the bishop. But black did not go for it because after bishop into a3, rook into a3, it would be easy for white as all black's pawns are vulnerable and white has many chances in this position. So I went for queen into h4 check, king g1 and queen e4 again. Instead, it was better to go for queen to g4 to play the move like this h4 in this position. But uh, queen e4 was played by Magnus. You might be thinking that what happens if this bishop takes this pawn. For example, if in bishop into g3, f into e3, queen into g3 check, king f1, and it seems black has no further checks. So this problem, this is not right continuation. Bishop into g3, bishop queen e4. Now rook a4, a very beautiful move and the only move to have some fight for an edge, like this, eyeing this queen on this rank. Bishop e5 by black. Instead, if he goes for now, then still white loses the bishop for nothing because this queen is threatened. So after bishop e5, now knight e2, queen c2, rook 1 a2, queen b3, king g2, queen d5 check, f3. With last moves, white was trying to stabilize and improve king's safety. But now here, Magnus thought that he should uh, hoping for something more, and that is for a win. This weakens this rank of king and king safety. But now Magnus is taking a risk in these positions, and f3 move shows this. Queen d1, f4, bishop c7, and here the reason point was playing this f4 move was that this bishop can be captured on these diagonals. It is very best placed over here. Now you understand that why f5 move at that position instead of the move over here, which was when the bishop was standing over here in the middle game where he moves before, was better, because then this bishop had this diagonal to run for. Bishop c7, king f2, bishop b6, rook a1, queen b3. Black tries putting as much pressure as possible. White has to defend e3 pawn now. Now the situation is changed and this pawn of white has been weakened. Rook e4 was played by white. That's what he could do, Magnus. g7, rook e8. Now white's plan is to play rook a8, a8 over here and threaten the king like this, creating mating threats. f5 was played by black, getting an heir for black king if white goes with his plan. Rook 8, queen b4, rook a c8. Again, the computer might show that it is completely an equal position, but it is very difficult for with black to defend this position. Black has only one thing, that he is going to continuously harass this e3 pawn, and he has nothing more. But whereas white can improve this position, and at some time he can just went on to grab these pawns. Bishop a5 was played. Black tries to get the queen on e1. Rook c1, the best try. Bishop b6, rook e5. Now bringing the rook over here on these ranks and going after these pawns. Queen b3 was played, again eyeing for this e3 pawn. Rook e8 was played. Rook returns to the place where actually it came from. Magnus repeats position because he accepts the draw. It's done to send the game and tire the opponent. It was all about the patience, and Magnus showed a great patience in this game. Queen d5, rook c8, queen h1, rook c1, queen d5, rook b1. As we can see that position hasn't changed for at least round about 10 moves. In such cases, defender often gets the illusion that he holds the position anyway. This illusion may sometimes be misleading. With the next move, an iron does small inaccuracy. Afterward, Magnus gets a chance to transform the position in his favor. And bishop a7. Instead of here, bishop c7 was best. Rook e7, bishop c5, rook e5. Now queen d3, eyeing this. Yeah. If a bishop, queen is going to pick up the rook. Now rook b7 first. Take this pawn. Now white rook found ideal setup. How to defend the bishop? Uh, Queen c2. Instead of here, if it is go for bishop d6, then rook d7. That is win. So queen c2, rook b5. Now the bishop has to move and this pawn is going to fall. Bishop a7, rook a5. First harassing the bishop. Bishop b6. Now rook ab5. Repeating. Bishop a7. Now rook into f5. Both rooks are loaded by defending each other. And here a beautiful move by Iron. The problem is that if you play this rook over here, then this bishop check will collect this rook over here on um, sorry b5. And you if you move this rook over here, then same situation, bishop into e3 check, and you pick up this rook over here. Rook into f7 check. The only best continuation in this game, in this position. Now Magnus has picked another pawn and he's going to give away, going to play with knight and rook against this queen, black's queen. King into f7, rook b7 check, king g6, rook into a7. And this is the position we were talking about actually in our comments to move 72 with the I saw in the comments of grandmasters that with the given material on the board, black should still be able to hold the position. However, some precision is already being required for these types of positions. So here, game continued, queen d5, rook a6 check first. I remembered one, there is another beautiful game which is with same material balance. It was played by Carlsen. For those who are interested in studying more of such an imbalanced end games, it is recommended to see Carlsen versus M. Nivara from Bale 2018. There, round about the same situation arised. H7, rook a1, king g6. I'm going to quickly go through the moves because round about these are all equal ones. King f7, knight f3, queen b1, rook d6, king g7, rook d5. And I will come to this situation where the position actually changes. And here you may say that king f7, queen h1, rook c7 check, king f6, knight f3. Knight has brought over here. The concept of white is that he is going to bring the rook over here, then the rook over here. Then he may push the pawn, or he may bring his knight over here on this square. Then he can control the diagonal, and then he would push this pawn, and the king would be protected in this way. So queen b1, rook d7, queen b2 check, rook d2, queen b1, and the game continued same like this as for many moves till it reached over here, and here in this position it was white was able to play this move, and here this rook is protected by this knight, and this pawn would be protected by this rook. And at last, Magnus was able to push his pawn, which was from last nearly 40 moves. Magnus had did nothing, but he had exhausted his opponent. Now, Nepomniachtchi would have to defend for another 50 moves until Magnus advanced the pawns again. So, e4 was played. Now, Queen h1, Rook d7 check, King g8, Rook d4 protecting the pawn, Queen h2 check, King e3, and here h4 was played. Here, Ein took the actions before an action. I am not in of the sense that Ein should have gone for this. Instead, it was better to just play the move King f8 and keep the pawn still over here for the blockade of this pawn over here. That's some time that Queen can control this diagonal and enter from over here. So whatsoever, h4 was played in the game. Into h4, king into king h3 check. Now king d2 and queen into h4. And now we have purely an endgame, which is knight, rook, two pawns versus queen and king. And it is a dead draw as per the table basis. This is a dead draw position. But after round about 7 odds of playing continuously on board, the players are humans, they are not computers. And at some point, Ein Nepomniachtchi made a mistake, and I'm going to show you that where after rook d3, white is trying to slowly develop his rook and going to bring his king over here on this side of the board, and he's going to move his knight like this, and then he's going to move his king from this side of the board. The reason behind is that sorry, these files, this side is completely open, and white queen can give check easily from this side to white king. So that's why Magnus will brought his king in the game from this side of the board, queen side of the board, to king side of the board. King f8, now rook f3, and queen d8 check, king e3, queen a5, king f2, and you are seeing that Magnus going for this side of the board. As here, black, it will be difficult for black queen to give the checks. Queen 7 check, rook e3, queen d7, knight d3. Sorry, knight g3. Knight is very well placed over here. It is defending everything which comes in its way, and it also allows the pawn push also. Queen d2 check, king f3. Queen d1 check, rook e2, queen b3 check, king g2, rook b7 check, rook d2, queen b3, rook d5, and now white is able to bring his rook on this rank, on 5th rank, and in the next moves roundabout, he's going to start pushing his pawns. But still, as per the table basis of computers, it is a draw. But I have already told you that humans are playing the game, not computers. Rook e5 check, king f7, rook f5 check, king e8, now e5. See, one pawn is also being placed. Once your all pieces stand well, push your passed pawns. A very well set court it is. Queen a2 check, king h3, and queen e6 was played by Ein Nepomniachtchi, and this is actually a 130th move, and this was the losing move. And it was round about past midnight in Dubai. After 7 hours and 35 minutes of battling, Nepo at last make a crucial mistake. And according to Lomonosov's 7-piece endgame table basis, white's winning. The only move over here, there are only actually two moves for black over here, which draws, and one is queen to b1, and the second one is queen to c2. The reason behind is that if we why queen b1 um, keeps the balance in the game. The reason behind is that bringing the queen on this rank, or bringing the queen rather on this, keeping on this rank, it continuously gives the checks to the white king and pins this knight over here. And this king can hold these squares. Would be able, for example, now rook f6, queen d1. Now going for this diagonal of checks, or going for this check. King h4. Now queen e1, pinning the knight. King g4. Now queen g1. See, pinning the knight. And this was the only way. And same thing happens if you play the move like queen c2. The concept is same. And after that, king h4 was played. And here actually Nepomniachtchi has already lost. Queen h6 check. Now knight h5. And it is, knight has came to a very great position over here. And it is holding everything in the position. Queen h7 was played. The problem with this move is that it is not doing anything, not threatening anything. E6 by Magnus Carlsen. The point is that if you pick up the rook, then you lose it, lose the queen. For example, you comes over here, knight check, king into pawn, and now it is completely lost for black. So over here, black played the move queen g6. Now rook f7. Still you can't take this pawn. Magnus calculated it thoroughly. The reason behind is that white gets the opposition. After this check, king into rook, knight into queen, king into knight, and now king g5. If you comes over here like this, now king f5. If king e7, now king comes over here, now king has to give the way to white in some way, and white is completely winning in this position. Now f5 was played. Sorry, over here f5 was played. King was played to d8. Now f5 was played. Queen g1 and knight g7. And what a beautiful technique Carlsen had showed. That an escape route on g8 for the king. It's a touchdown. Back resigns. Beautiful game by both players. The point is that already that Magnus really did had a great patience. And from this you have understood that how to play with two pawns and rook and knight versus a queen in an end game. And this is a beautiful master level end game. I hope you enjoyed my video. If you enjoyed it, kindly subscribe and hit the bell icon button. Thank you very much.